Hey guys, it's Neil Waterhouse. Received an email from Terence Martin. Hi Neil, just over a month ago I was made redundant after the company I'd been working for 22 years decided to outsource my job overseas. I've really enjoyed the last month of not having to drive to an office and not having to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning and returning home just after 7 p.m. It's given me a taste of what it must be like to work from home. I really liked what you said in one of your videos about the trip to the office for an eBay seller involves walking from the bedroom to the computer via the kitchen to make a coffee. To get to the point, my wife and I have been selling part-time on eBay for around 3 years and now want to take the business to the next level so I don't have to get another job. Basically, I just need to double the profits of our existing small home eBay business and then I'll be on the freedom train. Can you give me some advice on the quickest way to double my eBay business? What did you do? Okay, first of all, Terence, very sorry to hear you lost your job, especially after 22 years. Unfortunately, we're seeing this more and more as technology simply makes the world a smaller place and outsourcing low-cost overseas labour so easy to implement. On a positive note though, the good news is you can use the same strategy of outsourcing that costs you your job to help you leverage your time and help you build your eBay business faster than ever before possible. You may find what has happened to you a blessing in disguise when you look back at it in a few months from now. Now, to answer your question, what is the quickest way to double your business? The very simple answer, of course, is to simply just double the amount of products that you're already selling now. This, of course, can be easier said than done. However, let me tell you how we did it. First of all, you didn't mention what sort of products you sell. If you sell used items, i.e. you're driving around picking items from places like garage sales, estate sales, etc., doubling your sales requires you to spend more time driving around sourcing more products. This is why I'm not a huge fan of picking, as it's selling your time for money, and it's hard to get people to pick for you without having them leave after you train them, and then they start working for themselves. Whereas if you sell new items, either from importing or drop shipping, local products, it's much easier as you can automate almost the whole business using software and or outsource low-cost overseas labour. So your business simply works without you, which is what this is all about. This is what we did. I broke down and documented every single task that I did in the office every day. I broke the task down to granular levels. I then gradually created instructions for every task. These instructions don't take that long to make the majority. Like the majority of them take what I call less than one coffee. Like a lot of people think, oh my God, I've got to write these instructions, it's going to take forever. It doesn't take forever. We use a program called Snagit and Microsoft Word, and it's really not that hard to piece them together. Now, especially when you do screenshots, combined with some text, the instructions are simply showing step by step exactly what I do. Basically, it's just like documenting a recipe. Every time I document each task, I gave the task to one of our outsourced virtual assistants. Now, you don't have to get a full-time virtual assistant. You can just get somebody, for 30 minutes a day. You don't have to get someone, full-time. Sure, sometimes the instructions I wrote weren't clear enough, so I had to go and revise them by adding, another screenshot or adding a few more words. However, gradually, each one of my tasks was gone. Suddenly that chunk of the day, the time that task took up, was now free. And with that extra time, I could use it to document more tasks, or most importantly, build the business. My involvement with our businesses these days is just strategy and planning. The staff and software do the rest. I'd highly recommend, Terence, that you do the same and write down every single task you do for the business right now and then make a note of which task will increase your revenue the fastest. We don't want to focus on the 1%ers, i.e. the things that will only give us 1% more growth. For me, the fastest growing was product research and listing more products. And both of these tasks can be easily automated. Now, you have options. First, you can outsource product research and listing new products overseas, or you can outsource some of your other tasks, and if you like doing the product research and if you like listing products yourself, you'll now have more spare time to do this. Personally, I prefer to outsource almost all the tasks and just do the strategy and planning, as that's what I enjoy the most. Doubling an eBay business really is as simple as listing more products. However, at the same time, you have to put in place systems and strategies to make sure the framework of your business is there to support the extra sales. Where most people get stuck with not just eBay businesses is they try to do too much themselves. Almost all of us, myself included, have this deep down feeling that no one can do the task as good as we can do it ourselves. We have to continually fight this, as it really does radically affect how fast we can not only grow our businesses, but also on the size of our businesses. I've seen so many eBay businesses take off as soon as the owner has released the reins and started automating their businesses. When a new eBay seller starts, they may allocate a certain amount of time each week to do product research. As the business grows, they find themselves spending more and more time shipping out products, as well as answering emails, just the general day-to-day tasks. What happens next is they gradually spend less time researching new products, as well as less time building a business. To make an eBay business really take off, you must leverage your time. This is not an expensive exercise. You know, you can get someone to work overseas for you for an hour a day for $2 to $3. Suddenly $2 to $3, you've purchased an extra hour for yourself, which is huge. An extra hour in the day. For example, recently I was helping one of my students who was in a similar predicament. She was getting crippled by working the business and not on the business. Her business is drop shipping, and she was only adding 1 or 2 new products a week. Finally, after a ton of convincing, I got her to take on a virtual assistant for 2 hours a day at a total cost of $2.50 per hour. Suddenly she had 2 extra hours every day for a total cost of $5. We then got someone to list new products, and all of a sudden she was adding 6 new products every day instead of 1 or 2 per week. That's 30 new products being added to her business per week instead of 2. Instead of doubling her business, she's potentially increased the growth of her business by a factor of 15. So again, Terence, very sorry to hear about your redundancy. How I hope it was outsourcing. It was outsourcing that cost you these flies. It cost you your job. It's amazing. They've just arrived all of a sudden. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, it was outsourcing that cost you your job. And I hope from this video you can implement the same strategy of outsourcing low-cost overseas labour to end up giving you more and more money, working less hours, and ultimately giving you a much better quality of life. That's all for this week. No matter where you're watching this, whether it's on my Facebook channel or if it's on my YouTube channel or it's on my blog, neilwaterhouse.com, please scroll on down, please leave a comment. If you know someone who might find this blog useful, please give me a share. Until next week, list more, sell more. This is Neil Waterhouse.